Come out the laundry and look how they look at each other. Right? Orchestrated perps, orchestrated attacks. Alright, and they try to get away with it. Like I say, we are dealing with a cult that is multifaceted, that even in times of conflict, kinetic conflict, they still will engage in the non-kinetic conflict. And look, look, dude cleaning his vehicle. What sweater he got on? A red sweater. So do I. Let me tell you, like I said, when look, right? Also, what they did is that they left a whole bunch of the laundry dryers. They left the door open on the laundry dryers, right? So, because again, this is what they do, right? It's always open and close, open and close. It is constant, right? Constant, open and close, open and close. Now, again, you see a vehicle that is parked, all right? When I talk about, you look all these other vehicles there, that is parked. You ain't going nowhere. They have his brake lights on. Yep. Look. Of course he has his brake light on, right? Alright, and then you see the brown, alright, the color, brown color. So the vehicle, her brown jacket, and I'm you see what I'm saying? I got the brown with the red. All right, brown and red. And look, on my way back, look, red vehicle parked across the street. All right, just showed up there. Again, exposing what it is that they do and how they do it, and how they try to get away with it, right? Look, double park over there, another red vehicle. Oh yes, yes. So also what they'll do, if you see her, the white woman is walking there, just woman, she has the hat that has the Y on it, right? Again, the word and the letter Y, right? Like, why are they doing this, right? Whenever you see that, ask them, why are they doing this? Don't let them try to put it on you as to asking you why you're being targeted. I know why I'm being targeted. So you need to ask them, why are they doing it, right? But you should know the answer. That is why I don't ask that question anymore, right? We know it is because of their evilness, their wickedness, their satanic rituals. And when I say satanic ritual, meaning that I don't mean in the religious sense, I should say they're evil rituals. Let me take out the word satanic in there. They're evil, sadistic rituals, or they trauma rituals, based off of the fact that they enjoy it, right? A sadistic mind, particular religious mindset, and the mindset of believers, religious believers, is that of one of sadomasochists, right? Look, getting the older lady involved, getting the old people involved, right? They're sadistic rituals. She want to hide her face. She don't want to show who she is. Right? They're sadistic rituals because when I talk about religious fanatics, is that they seek enjoyment. They get enjoyment. And when you hear religious people, particularly when you talk about Negropean women, the younger ones, even the middle-aged ones, they always want to have fun. Anything that's fun to them. So if it's destroying another person's life, it is fun because they make it into a game. I talk about Rome and what Rome did. If you understand history, when the people were suffering in Rome, instead of doing what's right for the people, by the people, the Roman elites did what? They created the games, right? But the people still continue to suffer. But it is in that distraction of the games that they didn't forget about their suffering. They accepted. They accepted because the games gave them a relief, right, of their suffering. Right? When they created a game, it's to give them relief of their suffering. But it didn't really end. It did not end their suffering. They could do it over there, wiping his eye. do the exact same thing too. All right? It did not end their suffering. All it did was create a distraction for them. And eventually, we all know what happened to Rome, right? Eventually, no matter how much games you give the people, eventually their suffering is going to eventually override that fun. And they are going to rebel. Right? Oh man, that was you. What's up, man? Good. All right, so eventually, see, they always use, the Negropeans and try to manipulate them into engaging in this tactic, right? Because they know they got to do these threats and shit like that because they know. And like I said, I am not afraid. I'm not afraid of my brothers and sisters, but if they come at me, if whoever come at me in a way that is intended to do me harm physically, I'm going to do whatever is necessary to make sure that I walk away from that alive. And if I'm not, then to make sure that whoever is held accountable and responsible. You understand? So yeah, ain't no fear here. There is no fear here. So all that noise they're making, they can go ahead and make all that noise they want. Right? But it ain't gonna stop me from exposing what it is that they're doing. And it ain't gonna stop me from making others realize what it is that they do. The corruption, the lies, the manipulation, the deception, right? The psychological threats, based off of the fact that they have an agenda, which is to microchip every single one, and they will do whatever they can, and they will, because they have the power, the authority, the know-how, the personnel, the expertise to manipulate us in ways that we don't understand in order to, what's the word I'm looking for? To be able to usher in their agenda. You see, and the majority of us think that, that it can't happen to us. But we as TIs, we are the precursor to what's to come for the rest of society. And make no mistake about it, once they have you involved in committing a crime against an individual and they weaponize you, then when they manipulate you, when they got you to be involved in a crime against an individual, whether it be psychological or not, right? That's why, like I said, I have no issues with doing to them what they do to me psychologically. Like what I started doing in the laundromat, whenever they start looking at the security camera, I start looking up at the security camera, right? You know what I'm saying? Because again, just to let them know that, listen, if my mindset was to be who they wanted my mindset to be, no security camera is going to stop me from doing what I got to do to protect myself, to defend myself. And I'm going to make that clear. What I said, to protect myself and defend myself, right? Because at this point, I have proven many times over the psychological attack, the cognitive warfare attack, the coercive persuasion attack, right? The passive aggressive attacks, right? And remember too, they are court cases that set precedents that says that a person who is being psychologically tortured and manipulated, gaslight, right? That they have every right to protect themselves by any means necessary. So I always keep that in mind. But like I said, I have to prove what it is that I say. So when I do have to defend myself physically, I've documented the proof and the evidence as to why and how. Okay? Don't ever forget that. This is why they want to engage in that psychological manipulation tactic. When I was in the laundry, getting my clothes out the dryer, the New York Predator Department started using their sirens, right, in a very subtle way. Because they had the Hispanic woman that was in there, and when I walked in, she looked at me and then looked down at my phone and have you, right? So she came and she was drying her clothes, and she kept looking at me. And so, as I said, she came, yeah, whoop, whoop. So she came and they started looking at me, right, while I was folding my clothes. And they started using their sirens, right? So, I talk about how they try to constantly also use words that have double meaning, right? Particularly when it comes to like Pam and stuff like that, and what have you. And it's like, look, I don't care, I don't really give a damn at this point. You know what I'm saying? And this is what they do. It's the emotional manipulation, that the fact that they won't leave you alone, the fact that they're constantly feeding you information that I don't really care about, and I keep showing them all the time. I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, what was it? Yes, the other day was Thursday. You know, she's calling me, and I said, listen, I have text her. I'll call you back, I said. And like, she expected me to call her back right away. And so when I didn't, you know, then I did eventually calling her. She's like, oh, you're not calling me back? I'm like, what is it important? When I call you and you don't answer, I send you a text, right? You don't answer, you know, I'll leave you alone. Only when it comes to the children. When I need to talk to the children and you're not answering, I may text you. And then I'll call you back a half an hour later or so, you know? Yo, what's up, man? Peace out. Yeah. You do he's doing this. He's like, and doing this. He got the fake gold rings on, and he looks up at the window. Yeah, fuck you, motherfuckers. Y'all will get assassinated and shot too. All right? So yeah. But this is what they do. Like I said, ain't no fear here. And you hear the subtle sirens that's going off, right? Right? Because this is what they do. And you see the color brown again. So again, bombarded with colors, or sometimes they'll use the color brown or what have you, right? Because again, this is what they do, right? When we talk about psychological manipulation, right? Psychological torture, right? So even though you see me going out doing my laundry and stuff like that, which is, I don't do my laundry all the time, or what have you, but it's to try to isolate you and to try to keep you inside, right? It's to try to make you isolate yourself while they are getting away with the psychological attack, the cognitive attack, the illegal remote monitoring, the illegal microchipping, that what it is that they do, and want you to accept that. And I will never accept that, particularly knowing what they have done, particularly knowing the tactics and the methods to manipulate, to deceive people, right? And again, to hide the fact that they're targeting people also based on their bloodline and who they are, and trying to eradicate certain traits within certain people's bloodlines. All right? Talk to you guys in the next video.